A tying arrangement, which is an agreement where a seller conditions the sale of a product on the inclusion of another, violates Section 1 of the Sherman Act if the seller has significant market power and the arrangement strongly hinders free competition. In addition, in the 1947 case, International Salt Company versus United States, the United States Supreme Court held that a tying arrangement is per se illegal under the Sherman Act. Nearly 10 years later, in Northern Pacific Railway Company versus United States, the court once again considered this question of per se illegality of a tying arrangement in a case involving a railroad company. In 1864 and 1870, Congress granted Northern Pacific Railway Company's predecessor roughly 40 million acres of land in several northwestern states and territories to construct a railroad line. But by 1949, Northern had sold about 37 million acres of the land and leased most of the remaining unsold land. In many of the land sales contracts and most of the lease agreements, Northern included preferential routing clauses. Under these clauses, buyers or lessees of the land were required to ship any goods produced on the land using Northern's carrier services, so long as Northern's shipping rates and service weren't more expensive than its competitors' rates. But because many of the goods produced on the lands were shipped from one state to another, the agreements reduced competition in the interstate market for carrier services. Subsequently, the United States sued Northern in federal district court, arguing that Northern's preferential routing agreements were per se illegal restraints on trade under the Sherman Act. Following pretrial proceedings, the United States moved for summary judgment, which the court granted. Northern then appealed directly to the United States Supreme Court.